their turf. I want to see, like, is that really going to have an effect in a way, too? Like, them hearing the shouts and yelling?
I mean, if they're nervous in any way, then the crowd are going to help them, aren't they? That's for sure. Right, let's get into the draft. Then draft number 1 is underway. We've had a few picks as well in here. Crystal Maiden Ursa opening from Virtus.pro.
They picked so fast.
They picked like they didn't even care what iG.V was going to grab.
Yep, no, they've got a plan, haven't they? They're just going to execute it for game 1, see where it takes them.
They banned the tree, they banned the Venge. iG.V had pretty successful games with the Vengeful Spirit, and yeah, they literally don't care. They just grab their heroes. No hesitation.
They ban their heroes. Like Weaver's banned half a second later.
Weaver banned right away.
God, we're going to be out of here in no time, guys.
Everything is so quick. Both teams have full reserve time still. I think both teams look like they came into play.
I mean, they've had all day long a lot of 3-game series to theorycraft their draft, so I think that's part of it, where often teams like on the day will be talking more about their drafts, and all of these teams have probably been up at least since 11, 12 o'clock and probably plotting and planning.
So they do secure Dogfight's hero very early with the Ricky. He is, like we were talking about, he's one of like the staple Ricky players, if not one of the inventors of it into this meta for a while.
Very important.
I think it's important for them to secure his hero early. Yeah, he's been getting targeted a lot in the bans from the teams that he's been playing versus Spirit, his Ricky either gets grabbed or banned. And then the Omni Knight, I feel like that's kind of taking a page out of VGJ.
Yeah.
Seeing how so much success they had versus DC, I think that might have influenced them a little bit coming into this one.
The last few weeks in the Chinese scene, like, they play a lot more online matches, being DPL, Starlight qualifiers. Omni Knight's kind of become very meta pick for the offlane. So it seems like iG.V is just going to stick with that since they've likely been playing it a bit and seeing it succeed.
Banning out the Doom. Looks like they're, I mean, I think what, VP picked it? I think they picked it once? No? Maybe, yeah, one of the games, but it's also extremely good versus the Omni Knight. Just being able to get this, just lock him down. If you get doomed as an Omni Knight, all your team fight's gone. So.
Saw it earlier in the Newbie Liquids game.
Yes.
Saw it twice.
Taking out the Batrider here as well, that's an interesting one.
Oh. That is actually...
That feels like one of theirs.
Yeah, it does.
Hopefully they didn't try and pick it.
No, I mean, they have their offlane.
Yeah,
no, I think they're maybe they know that Omni Knight maybe doesn't face very well against Batrider in this situation.
Yeah, could be something like that. I mean, in July knows a lot about that hero. It's one of his most played, so definitely a possibility. It's also very good, like vision, grabbing Gong versus the Omni Knight, being able to get in the back lines and finding him.
That's something we were talking about earlier. It looks like iG.V is very focused on making sure Nine Pasha does not have the heroes that he feels comfortable on.
Oh yeah, banning out like 3.5 offlaners kind of in a way.
Because Paulie said, like, how do you ban against this team? Do you just do 5 bans in one play? Well, yeah, that's what
looks like so.
They decided to pick on Pasha this game. Yeah. It might be a different plan next game.
Slaughter, probably Lil's hero. He's played quite a lot of this 4th position. I think his hero is just pretty weak in the offlane these days.
I think it can still be like left open a bit though. I think it's more than likely Lil, but I think that's what they're kind of like. You know, it doesn't really show your hand entirely. Very good versus the Ricky as well for the Amp or for Corrosive Haze to reveal him if he does show.
They very
rarely
play it anywhere else.
And one of the big surprises, I thought I'd be seeing more of this hero. Now with all these 4 roamers getting banned, we just haven't seen Slaughter come out, and I thought it was really powerful in early stages of 7.0.
Too many nerfs, and I think the Bounty Ricky, like, you don't counter their lane, like lane stage invis, you don't have amp, you have to get level 6, and it's so much harder to get level 6. I think that is a big reason why Slaughter fell off, because getting that level 6 as a roamer is quite tough. Ricky doesn't need level 6.
Yeah.
His level 6 ulti is not that good until late game. So.
Slaughter's got a pretty high win rate, 72% actually here, so that's...
Wow. Hasn't been picked a huge
Hasn't been getting picked too much. Yeah, it's only seven times, but still pretty substantial. Ooh. So they go for the Darkseer, so they're going their kind of combo thing that they like to do. The pressure lane as well with the Darkseer Slaughter. They see, it's a Ricky, so I think that's kind of the approach they want to take. They're like, okay, Ricky isn't really the greatest for lanes, so if we put pressure on the safe lane, he has to kind of make his attention toward us, or we're going to really pressure their safe lane super hard. And I think that's a good approach for VP as well. We talked about Paparazzi. He probably needs to have a pretty good game for iG.V. If they punish him and just like kind of shut him down in laning phase, it could really hurt iG.V.
What kind of heroes can you easily run against Slaughter Darkseer here with a Ricky Warlock split? Not bad, but the Ricky doesn't offer anything.
The Ember for iG.Vitality. So what are we looking for Virtus.pro Ramsey's hero, I guess?
No,
he'll be Ursa one. Yeah, he'll take the Ursa. So it's a no one?
Yeah, there's some team like Weehaw would play the Ursa mate against Ember, but I don't think that's VP style.
I mean, Ramsey's was his most picked since 7.0, so it's very likely that he'll take the Ursa. So we're looking for a no-one hero. There's plenty of options here because they haven't really banned against him. Yeah.
He'll wait and see what the last overall pick is first. So they get the 10th pick of the draft. So how well Medusa can do against Ember, that may be something they consider, but it's also a bit slower pace, which may not be saying VP want.
Just Skywrath mid.
I mean, versus Ember,
I half joke.
Honestly, versus Ember, that's a pretty hard lane for Ember Spirit.
One thing that can hit buildings, though. I feel like
that's, more than likely.
I mean, they're definitely good at build, but I think you need a building here.
They're definitely gonna have some trouble getting on high ground if they're gonna end up picking that hero.
I think the Shadow Fiend is probably the more likely.
SF, Dusa, TA's actually TA's been huge this tournament.
Yeah.
Very big.
Works really well with the Slaughter.
The lane's okay, versus Ember not great, but it's like you can still play it versus Ember. I like SF because it's mixed magic and physical. Like you can still fight into the Guardian Angel. Like
exactly.
You pop a GA against a TA, and TA is doing no damage during that.
And they already have sorry.
So no, they've also. I was going to say they played the Terrorblade a little bit, but it's more Ramses that's played that anyway.
They have the mech carrier as well. So Shadow Fiend maybe early on he struggles a little bit, but Darkseer if he goes for a mech early on, they have CM Aura.
Jug was like I guess the only real. I mean, it's not great against Darkseer, but it's at least better than the rest.
They've drafted some Spectre and stuff, but that gets pressured way too hard.
Sven, actually
so they go for the Sven.
A few Svens, but
So Sven with Repel, good versus the Corrosive Haze. But laning phase versus Darkseer is playing versus Ion Shell Sven is actually pretty annoying in laning phase.
Anyone got an 8-ball for the final pick?
Which ones did we already say? We said the Shadow Fiend, we said the TA.
OD.
I don't know if it's TA anymore.
OD
just got banned.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I was going to say.
Skywrath, we sort of talked about a little bit.
Knowing Virtus.pro, the best part is it could be anything.
No one has played at this event. Storm, Timber, Ember, Skywrath, SF.
I really think this is a great Dusa game.
You like Dusa?
I mean, maybe it's on a VP hero if it was.
I was about to say, do you feel it fits their style very well?
I think it's the one that fits. It adds a lot of elements. It gives them a base hitter. It gives them late game scaling potential as well. I mean, I really like
nothing funky for game one, guys. Nothing funky. They're just going to play this nice and calmly. Right then, Mr. 100% over here.
VP. This is probably one of the predictors I have to think the least about today. Could be wrong. I mean, I'd love for a close game or an upset, but I really think VP.
Okay. All right, Conrad.
Virtus.pro as well.
Yeah.
I think they got these heroes that I think they're comfortable on, and I think they're going to do very well with.
VP.
It was pretty easy. Look, even production had already done the logo
for
you, but they know you by now. They've got this. Right then, 3 clean sweeps for Virtus.pro here on the panel. They all agree, but do our commentary team agree? As we head over there once more for our final series of the night and the very first game. Good luck, CIS fans. Your Virtus.pro are here to do you proud, but iG.Vitality are no pushovers.
Welcome everybody here to what is going to be an amazing crowd. It is the Russian team Virtus.pro going up against Invictus Gaming Vitality. I'm Toby1 here with the amazing Purge.
Hey man,
are you ready?
I'm excited. The crowd filled out real good. We knew that was going to happen though. This is the home team crowd more or less.
Yep.
And they're excited to see who wins this one.
And they don't even care what time it is. We can burn through the midnight oil, and we're going to be here until we find out if Virtus.pro go home and everyone has to drink some sad vodka tonight, or if it's going to be celebration vodka being drunk.
The draft is a bit interesting. The Omni opening, it's a hero that's been trending a little bit the last day, basically. A lot more Omni picks. And instantly, VP had a solution. It's the instant Ursa draft. So it's kind of similar to what we saw in the last game, actually. Was that it was a favorable 1v1 matchup. Volvo had to play the... oh, God, I forgot the hero already. He had to do a 1v1 Magnus versus a Lifestealer, which is a tough lane with a Monkey King. He got punished pretty heavily in the laning stage because of it. So if VP can do a similar thing with the Ursa against the Omni Knight, that's exactly what they want. So they got to scout out their lanes. They did that right now. And now they need to try to put the lanes in a place that's going to give them an easy matchup and allow their supports to do whatever they want.
Well, it's the classic easy matchups too, right? Like the Darkseer as well as the Slaughter together for Virtus.pro. No one on his SF. And then you got Ramses and Solo to go top lane. Looks to be the way it's going to fall out. But at the same time, like Ricky, the guy who's on your screen right now, Dogfights will be in charge of him. He's been the biggest disruptive force so far in the Kiev Major. And where does he really focus? Like, what is he meant to be stopping apart from potentially stealing a bounty rune and giving away first blood, because there is potentially dust.
I mean, there's a lot of really good things that Ricky can definitely do. Split experience with whoever's jungling is one of them. Show up unexpectedly across the map. Those are really solid things, kind of similar to what Monkey King does. But Ricky lately has even been scaling better as a core, actually. Well, as a support, but semi into a core.
Transitioning into that semi.
It doesn't take a whole lot of agility items for this guy to hit really hard, so it's a possibility. You never know. Against an Ursa and an SF, maybe not. Maybe not this game.
He also has that wonderful combination, right? I think it was AUI who was describing it as a cheap version of a Finger of Death. By having the Ricky stand next to a target, then you purify on that target. It's something you can't really prepare for unless you have the vision. And Dogfights is actually doing it to solo. Like, this is meant to be his time to find the farm. And he frostbit Ursa. He can't even kill it off. And he has to use his second frostbite to get Ricky off his tail. Yeah,
this really hurts tempo, actually. Crystal Maidens love to get a fast level 2. You can easily hit it by about 115, especially with the Hellbear camp. Just frostbite both of those, so it delays his 2, which means it delays his mana aura. That hurts Lil on the Slardar. That hurts maybe the Ursa a little bit, depending on how often he uses overpower, and certainly the mid player as well.
Dogfights is doing exactly what iG.V wanted from him. I haven't even really been paying attention to the other lanes, just because I'm watching how much he is shutting down this Crystal Maiden. Again, another frostbite, which isn't going to actually end in... Well, actually, the Wild Wing has less life, so it does go down, unlike the Ursa.
And there's no magic resistance aura is the big thing, actually. They actually have the same life now. Hellbear Smasher got nerfed in that way. But the magic resistance aura is definitely the big part. Either way, the experience gets split, which is really impactful, actually. Dogfights will hit 2.
He's actually coming underneath that sentry ward.
They're not going to get a kill, though.
If they're smart about it, the fact that Lil kept running up, he didn't indicate the fact that he saw Dogfights. But with Frostbite and Crush, is that even enough to kill the Ricky?
They don't even have Frostbite. He's still really short on mana. I mean, he is healing back up here. They're going to try to do it around the bounty. Very smart.
He's just on the edge of the range, but the fact there's 2 of them here, they're going to dust up. The courier is in the neighborhood, so Dogfights tries to make a break for the tree line. He's got a little bit longer left for that dust. The Crush is there. Dogfights, will he survive? Still going for the tree line. The dust is wearing off, and Dogfights, he's back invis. Where's the sentry ward? Solo doesn't have it. Lil goes for the blind Crush, and the dust is on cooldown for another 11 seconds. Dogfights is burning so much time and resources of the VP supports.
Oh, man, they just don't have enough damage. Crystal Maiden 38 on average, and Ricky's got decent base armor 4, so despite the super low speed here, just...
He do it again? Dusted, search for, then he was running out of there with the Iron Shield burn damage. They give Pasha the first blood here in game 1.
It took some doing. They had to get a little creative, but ultimately works out. The Sentry Ward spots him on the retreat, so he knew exactly where he was on the Iron Shell. That's a whole lot better than a CM right-clicking.
A lot more damage. All right, so now that the Ricky's down for a little bit, let's actually check out our other lanes. So the mid, it looks to be pretty good for no one so far. 18 for 9 up against a 7-1 Ember Spirit. This has not been Paparazzi's lane, even though he does have a good creep wave coming down to him. On bottom lane, the Darks here up to 12 for 2. Up against the Sven, 14-7, so pretty evenly matched up there. And then Ramses, the Ursa, 17-5 against in July, but as expected, this Omni Knight's been able to get in very close, get a lot of experience, as well as CS to boot.
Yeah, and now he's going to do the strong thing, which is just harass the heck out of the Ursa using Purify. He is getting really good levels considering the fact, but that's because the supports basically had to lead to deal with the Ricky. They didn't necessarily both have to be there. They get the first blood. And yes, Omni's getting more than he should this game considering the Ursa matchup, but like we saw earlier, no one's really winning his lane. And that's a lane that Ember Spirit doesn't want to play. You don't want to play Ember Spirit versus Shadowfang. If you go into melee range, he's got 2-3 raise potential against you, especially with the CM aura.
Dogfights is actually so smart in this one. Oh, is he? The courier is waiting him out. Now, he wants to actually get the bottle when it's empty. It's going to be a lot slower, a lot more manageable for him, but VP's already on the mark. They let the speed boost go. Courier is back to safety. And Dogfights already rotates out of the lane.
I love what Solo did here, too. He started in the jungle, but he moved over in the point where Ricky could be near his position, and he jungled where his sentry was from previous, which basically guarantees that he's not going to get experience split, really. It's not going to get last hit. They're not going to set up ganks. It's a very small play, but absolutely really significant here, because faster level 3 means even more mana.
Yeah, both those supports are having a great time. The fact that Ricky is still level 1, 4.5 minutes in, Dogfights can almost become like that bounty hunter kind of style where you just hunt the bounty runes. He came in range of the tower. That doesn't help you at all. This is not like the initial Ricky interference seemed to be really good, but VP, they've adapted. They've adapted very quickly.
So something else a little interesting. Paparazzi was playing mid this game, actually. Very typically actually plays the safe lane with Sakata in the mid lane, but guess they swap it up for the Ember Spirit and the Sven.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting. I didn't
still the results of that 1v1 tournament at DAC.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. He did win it, Paparazzi, in the mid player right now.
Well, they switched the DAC matchup straight after that. Like, Paparazzi was mid for every game after that, I believe.
Okay, gotcha. Is that all it took? Oh, you won the 1 wins? Maybe we should put you mid.
No, we have to class him as the best mid in the world.
We didn't get to catch their games on the group stage, unfortunately, so... he does pick up level 5 at a reasonable time. He's got a bottle for himself. Still a little underfarmed on the Ember, but, I mean, it's typical jungle time. He'll let up jungle, use Flame Guard to accelerate in that way. And here comes the first big rotation. Now, this is a place where Slaughter is going to be way more effective with Ion Shell. Doesn't have that much damage by himself. Disable's good, but that's about it.
Sakata not realize what's going on. That smoke gank wrap around. Here goes your crutches, and that Ion Shell damage is going to be there. Tries to war cry. Survivability. Still 6 stick charges up his sleeve. And Super, he's going to help out with a little bit of extra regeneration. So Virtus.pro really understanding just how tanky and survivable that Sven is.
Yeah, and they got 2 points in the Crystal Maiden Aura, so a little bit less disables. It's not too surprising, but it does cost Sven some time and pushes the lane in and surely will make him play a little bit more safe. And even just a little pressure like that can make a big difference. Oh, they're waiting to grab the haste.
Lil kind of wants it. Dogfights might have to actually grab it as a crush from Lil. Creates some space, but Paparazzi was capable of actually bottling up the haste rune.
It's a good snack. I actually didn't think he was going to get that on time. So for
Solo,
sure it'd be someone else.
He's in Batman's land. It's the Paparazzi just charging forward. The perfect steering chains. He can't frostbite himself out of that one. Paparazzi able to get a nice, easy kill, catching Solo out. But Solo did get his job done. He got that aggressive Dire Observer Ward in.
And it only took 4 heroes, right, Toby? That's all chat. It's time. This is the perfect moment. Call them idiots for being there, maybe. Definitely effective kill.
He was just in the neighborhood for the rune. That was all.
Yeah. It's definitely nice that when they found him, it was long after he placed the ward as well, so it wasn't as obvious. That ward's really going to help control like where the Warlock is, what level he is, things like that.
Lil actually noticed that for half a second. He bumped in to dogfights and got body blocked up for just a short fraction of a second. The ping came very quickly too. But he didn't actually notice the Observer Ward. Obviously, he can't. Dogfight's got that up next to the shrine. So they're able to have a lot better vision around SF and understand when he goes to the jungle. And they should understand that too. There's already 1 stack being prepared for him.
That's definitely a great place to potentially gank. Ember Spirit has decent mobility. As long as you don't get spotted on the way into the jungle, if Ricky knows exactly where you are, it's always going to have to be something that SF worries about. But he's really farming well right now. 53 last hits on him. 56 on the Ursa as well, so I think VP's in a great spot right now. I thought maybe the Ricky roam would accomplish a whole lot, but it's been okay.
Speaking of accomplishing things, what is VP looking to accomplish? Like, you get farm on Ursa, does Roshan become the point then? And can they even do that against the iG.V lineup?
Yeah, so I think what they're doing this game, they opened very rapidly with the Ursa CM, I believe. Grabbed an Ursa or a Slaughter 3rd pick, which is amping up the physical damage, of course.
Ooh, hello bottom lane, get that stun in nice and quick. Pasha already had the surge up. Plus stick charger, so he will survive this.
So they grab the Slaughter as well to amplify the physical damage, give some roaming potential, and the SF pick really revealed a lot because it's basically their hero that's going to hit buildings. We've seen it a lot this tournament so far, but he's going to be amplified further by Slardar. Maybe the Darkseer will help a little bit, but basically Ursa's the one that's going to try to set the tempo here. I mean, he's a pretty good counter against, he's okay against Sven. I would say he's pretty good against Ember sometimes, but absolutely, fast Vlads, Blink Dagger, take Roshan's, and the Vlads will help the SF hit buildings, and they can back them up and kill heroes they really need to.
So then the question kind of remains, how is iG.V going to fight against them? Do we look for that then healing timing from the Omni Knight? Do we actually also ask the earlier game question, how long does it take for Warlock to get his rock?
Yeah, he's doing okay, though. Right now, he's got his own lane. The Sven is a great carry for just hitting up the jungle. He's got Treads now, Morbid Mask, and a Quelling Blade, so Sven's very happy to hit creeps.
This feels very, very reminiscent of what EG used to do with Fear.
Yeah.
Just pull him off that safe lane and then just let that critical level 6 hero get the farm.
Yeah, it's a really good strategy to do. And Super should be pretty survivable in his lane, so I think it's a great opportunity. With that said, the Observer Ward's going to spot this out, I think. I definitely saw Sven approaching the bounty rune. He grabbed the bounty rune, and now he's going to hit the jungle. So with knowing Sven is there, that should make the potential of them TPing the bot lane, jumping on Warlock, killing him, and taking the tower. That would be really beneficial. Because if they don't take this tower, actually, Warlock will get a 6 at a relatively good spot, in my opinion. And that would actually hurt the game a lot, because then they're going to be better able to take a fight against VP when they actually do go for aggressive things.
I'd still, it seems like a gamble. Like if VP commit to that and they don't actually pull off the bottom tower push, then iG.V are going to get the space they want. They're going to get the space as Sven to farm. You commit to the bottom as well. Like, do you want to actually more shut down that Radiant top lane? Look for the Ancient area, which you have to control, so Sven just can't flash farm with his cleave.
Well, it's not really the same as it used to be. It's a lot harder to stack Ancients repeatedly. There are two camps,
just because
obviously.
of the timing now?
Yeah, it's absolutely more about his jungle, the safe lane jungle. Like, and I'd be so much more worried about the easy farm that Warlock can get. Like, if you gank somebody pre-6 and take the tower right after, their jungle safety is so much less. And even sitting in lane as a Warlock, it feels less safe. So if they are successful in killing a Warlock, taking a safe lane tier 1 tower, opens up the whole jungle. Ursa is a big threat in other places on the lane. Maybe like Slardar plus another hero is as well. So I feel like that would open up the map decently. Heroes like Ember Spirit who have to hit jungle camps, play semi-safe in lane. Those heroes are all under threat in that way. If they do get an early pressure off and take the safe lane. And I wouldn't be too surprised to see them do a possible rotation. I mean, SF already has really good levels here. Or he could spend some time mid. Doesn't necessarily have to come with.
Paparazzi's actually up on the top lane at the moment. Ricky's going to come and join him. Ursa is still in jungle, so maybe there's Lil, who is that primary target. Injali is playing very aggressively already, so it's not going to be that odd. It is an Omni Knight with 2 points up in the Degen aura, so it's not unusual for him to actually approach into Lil. And when you get something like that, Dogfights can just blink up, put the smoke screen down, but they don't want to fight just yet. They're getting aggressive. If you can just get the secondary nuke out, Injali wins this, or they can just do that. Spirit jump forward, they ensure it's Paparazzi who finds the kill.
That was perfect timing on the smoke screen to interrupt any possibility of forcing out another Fire Remnant. That would have been the best case scenario for Lil, really. I don't think he survives that anyway, so.
And it's iG.V to do exactly what we're talking about. So it's not the Warlock getting ganked, it's the Slardar getting ganked, and VP having to move to react to iG.V instead.
Well, that said, he is sprinting to the off lane, so this would be the time to dive tower, maybe. It's pretty clear that it's just super down here, so they could maybe go in. But Solo's out of mana, kind of makes this whole approach a bit harder.
Actually, Lil? Okay, he's just TP top.
They'll turn things around. Actually, Ursa just using his Enrage there. It's kind of a big loss here. Low chance they want to fight.
He's coming for the 10-minute rune. Injali can actually start with a Purification if they want to try and do a little bit more damage. Dogfights did also take the rune. So Ramses tries to turn around and fight. A quick little jump away. The repel's out for Injali. He does have that GA plus Purification. And with Smokescreen, Lil does not want to fight this any further.
Yeah, they rotate up here because they anticipated their opponent's pressuring, so definitely better to go even.
TP in towards middle lane. No one's already done the damage, so Super will cancel his TP.
That's a huge kill. He did actually use the Mask of Madness. May have cost him a bit of extra life there due to Shadow Fiend already having his passive, but big kill for SF on the mid lane. And he actually went movement speed this game. I've never seen this before for SF. Movement speed over attack speed. Very interesting.
VP, you can't outrun the SF now, but they make the most out of the space SF has created, so no one gets the kill on this event. Instantly, Ramsey smoked up and went inside the pit. He's here with Solo, who's almost playing like Kevin Costner right now. Like, this is the bodyguard around Roshan. But with the rage up, this is one very, very dead Roshan, and nothing that iG.V can do to stop it.
Yeah, very smart to use a smoke for that. A lot of Ursas will shy away from that just because half the time your Roche gets interrupted, but not only does it get them into the pit for sure, it also makes sure that the Riki isn't nearby, so they don't have to worry about putting a sentry down. They save their money. All it costs them is a smoke. So kind of dual purpose there that really pays off.
iG.V's coming again. Two-man smoke up in July. He's just walking it out. The Observer Ward, there is none. Like, there's two Observer Wards around the pit, but they don't actually see iG.V moving. So Paparazzi, if he wants to commit, which he will, Spirit's forward. The Searing Chain is holding Lil in position. Another Spirit in. Paparazzi really wants to be the man to get this kill. But iG.V, they're happy to take a fight if Virtus.pro will oblige.
I think VP is fine with that as well. They're not really ready to fight just yet. So they'll
iG.V are going to make a fight on bottom. Pasha's actually going to be in a lot of trouble. Dogfights is already on top of him. Body blocks him while Pasha is trying to surge away. It's wasted so much time of that surge. It's only level 2. Now Lil, what can he do? In through the tree lines. A quick crush, keeping Injali out. With that Purification, it would have been a guaranteed kill over on Pasha. But now Pasha is able to surge for a second time and escape on the bottom lane.
And Darkseer would have killed Riki like 2 times over there with that Ion Shell damage. It's very impactful, but nice rotation from Lil just in time to help keep him alive. He's going to be rushing Fast Midas on Ninja, not too unexpected considering what people have been buying lately. Sakata going average build too. Treads, Mask Madness are getting popular. S&Y afterwards, so he's worried about mobility. And that's, I think, why the Shadow Fiend picked up the mobility talent as well, the 15 movement speed. Because there are pretty weak disables on iG.V. We just saw it against the Darkseer. They can just walk away sometimes.
Ramses is beating down that top tower with the Aegis Immortal behind him. He wants to force the buildings, obviously not the team fights. Going into Warlock is not really his desire, but he may not have a choice. iG.V are bringing the numbers up. The only person they don't have here just yet is Ricky, but Ramses just surged in to the middle of iG.V. They want him to fight, but now you're on top of the Radiant Shrine. Ursa Purification, there goes the Aegis Immortal. Nothing huge had to be committed for that until now. God's Strength is up. He's actually silenced, and the rock will fall with a fatal Bond's Guardian Angel will actually have to protect them for a little bit longer, but VP, they are way too strong, muscling their way over iG.Vitality. Shrine or no shrine, and never even got triggered. Virtus.pro just slapped iG.V down.
That was insane movement from Ramses there. I thought that was the dumbest thing I'd ever seen, and it just forced them all to group up. It looked like the most obvious kill. The VP had to run around a very inefficient way, but by the time he stayed alive, he gets his ultimate off, which guaranteed that the damage he took in that first burst was heavily reduced, and it bought his team time to get the Requiem off, get the slow, the minus armor on the important heroes, and they win a huge team fight while taking the offlane tower.
And exactly what VP wanted. We can have a quick look at it again. So it starts off with this. Ramses being the ultimate bait. The bait that's meant to die, and then on the third day he will rise again. Surrounded by iG.V, but in comes Pasha. The rock looked like it was going to mess them up heavily.
They all just died to magic damage, basically. They got Guardian Angel off. No one had the easiest little team fight there. And maybe one crucial moment was the Ricky was out of mana there. No smoke cloud to prevent the Ursa from casting a rage. If they had the smoke cloud, that very easily could have been Ursa dying and an entirely different team out. Look at that smile here. It's like, oh, that was pleasant.
Easiest day of your life was the same for Solo, just freezing field. Who was saying earlier today? I think it was Cinder. It's just like, yeah, there's always a reason why you get the freezing field point nice and early on, especially before that level 10. He had it at 7, and Virtus.pro, the combination just hit perfectly. And it's not many teams who are able to win a fight when you get hit by such a heavy rock. In middle lane, Ember Spirit, there is the defensive one behind. Up next to his Ancient, so Paparazzi will be away. But they have to be careful now. Blink Dagger over on Ramses with Vlad's. He wants to fight.
You know, Toby, that's a moment where not having Freezing Field would have got them an Ember kill. Did you know that? If he had one more point in a Frostbite, that was a dead Ember Spirit, 100%.
Yeah, but
100%.
We are not debating that one, Perch.
He did. It was good the previous fight, but...
Well, the fact, Pasha, he knew something was there. They put down the sentry ward. As, well, Dogfights just felt like they knew everything VP did. Wow. Leaned towards like they did know, but there was no gem, there was no detection, and he was baited in to the tricks of the trade.
I think that vacuum is for a different hero, and the only reason that they realized is because the Ricky ulti came out.
Yep.
But when you get vacuumed from trees as an invis hero, that seems pretty clear like they know you're there. I don't know. And they're going to start hitting the high ground buildings.
Yep. This is not even 16 minutes in, and no one's the first one to attack. And you got Lil. He's hunting. This guy doesn't even have a Blink Dagger. He was the one that iG.V was shutting down, so you wouldn't have that jump in initiation from Aslana.
Now, VP doesn't for sure think they're going to get a Rax here. They tried to see what happens, force rotations. In the meantime, Ember Spirit was split pushing top, so they had to back by all means. And they also landed a really good Fatal Bonds, catching like 4 heroes, which would have forced VP to wait at least like 20 seconds or chance a really bad team fight. So
does it feel like a bad time when Paparazzi has to buy his own Force Staff to escape from the Ursa? Like his supports can't actually do enough team fight control that you got an Ember Spirit buying a Force Staff.
And that's the thing you do against like Ricky's, but they have the Ricky. He's got to worry about the Ursa, nothing else, I guess. But it is really scary. Same goes for against the Slardar. If Slardar can initiate on him properly or somebody else on his team, and if they just get killed at the start of the fight, no good. Got to keep them alive. And even saving Omni Knight or Warlock can be really important.
And iG.Vitality need to get control of this game back. Yeah, the graphs started to kick up a little bit. It was about 6,000 experience and roughly about 7,000 to 8,000 worth of net worth going their way, and the net worth at least flatlined. But as a lot of that can probably come down to what we're seeing from Sven. you're getting that flash farm, you're getting him back up to the point where he wants to be, but there's no huge combo with him either. Like, we're not looking at the Darkseer being on his team. We talk about the counter with the Force Staff to the Rikimaru. He kind of wants to have the Darkseer with him to go back into Stormbolt, get the big cleave.
Yeah, Toby, haven't you ever seen the Ember Spirit Force Staff the Sven into the Stormbolt? Never? No. That's a combo right there.
No, I'm assuming that will be just as good as Stormbolting a ball.
Could work. With that said, Sven's going to be backed up by Omni. That's maybe the safer combo that they have. But I would definitely agree they're lacking some team fight here. Oh, I got it. Fatal Bonds and Sven. There you go.
If you can keep them close enough for the cleave. Like
I mean, yeah, but start off a little cleave. Maybe you don't do Fatal Bonds AoE amplification later, but you're still going to be killing somebody, right?
Yep.
He's going to be fast. Shadow Fiend does have a BKB, though. This is pretty crucial.
Real trouble right now. Sakata was trying to run himself out. Has to go for the quick stun over on the Earth. So wish you had that 4-star from the Ember Spirit to help you out there. 48 seconds on the sideline after a good movement down for the kill. Even no one's playing with Paparazzi in the mid. He hits like a truck.
Yeah, he really does right now. Even the Sven using his armor skill looked absolutely squishy against Slaughter, and that's the power of Ursa. That's a hero that was very, very dominant right before this tournament, and then no team was picking Ursa all of a sudden. It's like the first time I've seen him, I think.
And VP first phase it.
Yeah, against an Omni Knight,
in fact, not even first phase it, it was first picking it.
Well,
it was up with their combination.
It was in response to the Omni pick. They wanted that matchup advantage. Very similar to what we saw last series. The lanes are, it's just so important, really.
Yep.
Get gold advantage in that way, lets your other heroes do what they want. VP slightly inefficient to the Riki reaction, but they reacted well. And in the meantime, it allows your top tier mid player no one to just wreck the other guy in a matchup advantage. I mean, they had 2 matchup advantages, the safe lane, the mid lane.
Dogfight's actually got hit by the dust. VP, they're going for the spidery senses. Oh, Lil, he needs a first hit bash. Lost an attack moving, very difficult.
That's very difficult without the bash skill.
That is also very difficult because he went for the 4-4-0-1.
Yeah, that's the build you do. Anything else sucks, basically. Yeah. Unless you're in like a 1v1 or something.
Just pray to the RNG gods.
Dogfits does
VP
spot.
didn't do that for Roshan. Like, they have to wait over 2 minutes before Roshan's going to be up. And if they were able to pick it up a little bit earlier, forcing that tier 2 tower up on the top lane and then actually making plans for the high ground would have been a lot more simple for them.
With that said, though, they're in such a safe place right now. Shadow Fiend's insanely out-farming this one. He's actually got 50% more net worth. What the hell is going on?
Get a full diffusal blade under 20 minutes is well done for an Ursa. Like, it's not even just the SF being ahead.
Have fun Omni Knight, I guess. Like, Guardian Angel's not going to do anything. And it counters the Ember Spirit, and it counters the Sven. You can remove Warcry, you can remove Flame Guard. It's actually so good this game. So if they're on the right targets, they're going to die. It's pretty straightforward. Even Ursa's great at killing the Inferno Golem. Like, that's takes you an overpower probably, but that's a great thing to finish off at the start. And now the Roche control starts.
Oh, it's a nice sentry ward, but it doesn't see up on the hill. One defensive spirit, Solo. He was actually trying to go for it. The jump forward, Paparazzi. Where's the lockdown? The smoke screen's there. Solo will fall. Roshan still not alive just yet, but it's Lil trapped inside the pit. Will they have enough? The Rock will perfectly connect on Virtus.pro with the Fatal Bonds, with the Darkseer. Right from everyone! Oh my! Sakata's not done just yet. They're still looking for the kill over on the SF. The Stormbolt's going to be there. They bring him down. The ensemble streak is ended in Ramses. He is upheavaled. He is slowed down so heavily. The Sven will get a huge triple kill around Roshan about 15 seconds before the big man is up.
A little too confident from VP there. They drop the sentry. They're like, oh, whatever. I can ping this out, but it leads to a bad initiation where Crystal Maiden is caught out and easily killed. And it looks so good with the vacuum into the Requiem, but the important thing was Paparazzi picking up this really early Blink Dagger. No BOTs, straight into Blink. And because of that, he was able to easily stay alive until the Shadow Fiend BKB runs out. And then he guaranteed that Sven could actually catch up and kill the people he needed to. This is the big damage dealer. It's Sven. And surprisingly, that BKB on the SF didn't feel that good. It got interrupted by Infernal Golem, and then it runs out and it feels like the hero's just easily killable.
Well, Solo was sleeping through the fight. And they go. So this is the whole fight again. So to start it off, this is where Solo is completely out.
Lil, no abilities off cooldown yet, so he gets killed for free as well. And it's already like a 3v5 against them. It's like Pasha almost getting cleaned up as well after the Requiem.
Dogfights. Dust quick murderer on the bottom lane. For that fight, it was actually 1,500 for the Sven he earned and just over 1,000 for the Ember. So it's not even just piled into one. Like the two big cores got over 2.5k themselves. Not to mention all the experience they gained. They actually hit both 2,335 XP gain from just that fight. Skyrocket them up now. Sven to 17 and Ember close to 16.
All right, are we going to see a repeat here?
Well, you don't have Rock. 48 seconds down, so it's going to be difficult.
No Guardian Angel.
Defensive Spirit up from Paparazzi. He's looking to make that jump. Paparazzi jumps in. Roshan is killed off by the Dire. Rams into the Aegis Immortal, but with the cleave damage, Sakata is actually committed into this. In July needs to get him out. The back three-man wall and clutch! Lil, now is his turn with Solo dropping the ulti. VP, it's not just a badly lost team fight and Roshan gone. It's 3 heroes down without buyback.
That is not good. That's what their fight should have looked like in the last one, but with no CM, no Slardar, it's just the Requiem vacuum. That one looked unstoppable, though. You can't do anything about a 2-second AoE stun with follow-up there. And they still have Roche kill, and they still have the Aegis on Ursa.
Oh boy, this is Midrax. There is little to nothing that iG.V can do to stop this.
The tower's
and then
going.
VP can back out if they want it, but Ursa has the Aegis. If he wants to fight, he can go for more.
Absolutely. If they can get a spot, maybe a hero out of position, they will go in, but...
You can see Lil twitching like a cat looking for a pigeon on the back lines. He is ready to blink in and crush anything that moves forward. But nothing will oblige, and VP will back out, claiming the first rack in under 24 minutes.
That's a huge advantage. Not only the barracks, of course, one of the earliest I've seen in a while, by the way, but also the shrines, of course. And if they get a gem, a little bit more map control, very difficult for iG.V to get across the map. At least they do have Ember Spirit with BOTs. He can fairly safely split push and push lanes without getting killed, but at some point the damage even of iG.V is going to start falling off. The Butterfly's finished for the Shadow Fiend. At some point Ursa will probably grab an Aghanim Scepter as well. BKB first, though.
Let's watch that moment. This is one of those ones you want to almost slow down. So this is Pasha, the perfect vac wall combination. No one just raising from inside the pit. It looks almost too easy for Virtus.pro.
Glad he skilled his CM ulti for that one too. That was a good ult. But really, I think one of the crucial moments was actually that amp damage came out after the repel from what it looked like. So it was, the Ursa was at like, what, 40% HP? So whatever, I'll hit this guy a couple times. 3 hits, and the Sven was already at half HP. Put him really low to start things off. That looks like a dead CM.
And it most definitely is. Paparazzi just quick spirits away, and Dogfight's already on the run. The rest of VP were on their way, and they kind of wanted to come to the top lane anyway. Like, the Tier 2 tower is the next on their list. So losing Solo, it's just something you accept.
Yep, as long as he's not holding the gem, not the biggest loss. That guy actually needs a 4-staff right there. Glimmer Cape could work pretty well also. Ember Spirit's Syrian Chains will give vision, but definitely will reduce a lot of the damage at least.
And Dogfight's just really just trying to be so elusive on the top lane. I don't know if he's looking for something, because they left the Observer Ward behind now. But if you can keep the pressure on the top lane, like creep skipping it out, it will make VP think twice.
Yes, but it's not about creep skipping, it's about spotting enemy heroes, because he's basically looking for free gimme kills. Maybe courier snipes, things like that. That's what these wards are for, because nobody really expects there to be a ward here. If the creeps aren't here, nobody expects to have vision on them, really. So if you see them walking to a certain place, maybe say, oh, I think he's going to the large camp. That kind of stuff can give you the information you might need to grab a much-needed kill to get back in the game.
VP's on the hunt. They got a fresh Solar Crest over on Lil. That's their newest item for this engagement.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So,
minus 27 armor?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
iG.Vitality going to have a hard time staying alive. Like, you could say they might still have a little bit of damage here and there, but if you can't stay alive, you can't inflict damage.
Speaking of staying alive, Shadow Fiend picking up a Scotty now. A ton of raw HP to combo with the 35% evasion he's already walking around with. That's going to be amazing. And now, most importantly, Scotty's one of the best items you can ever have against a melee carry. So a hero like Sven, this guy's screwed if he starts getting hit, because he's got to have allies back him up, get him close to the Shadow Fiend, maybe with a 4-staff, or prevent the Shadow Fiend from attacking, just so he can't permanently slow the guy. But once he finishes this, it's looking pretty bad for iG.V. They're already having damage problems, so if SF just keeps tanking up like Scotty into Satanic or something, I just don't really see how iG.V gets the kill unless they're 5v1.
That's why I was looking for some kind of combo to work with either the Warlock or the Sven. Sven feels very underwhelming in combination with the rest of iG.V.
I don't think that's necessarily the problem. I think it's more just that the Shadow Fiend has 50% more net worth than everyone. it looks like a Naga AM or something. Like, this guy's actually insane on Shadow Fiend. So definitely one of the best mids right now.
You're actually putting it down to no one? You did say the matchup wasn't nice for Paparazzi.
It is not nice, and no one got a solo kill, and he's amazing. It's pretty straightforward, really. This guy is a very good Shadow Fiend player.
We can tick all those boxes on his resume for getting a job at VP. Oh, wait, he already has one.
He'll be good.
Oh, taunting as he's approaching.
It's worth it, man. This guy's, that's more than he ever says in interviews right there.
Do a little dance. That's how Sheep's going to get the best out of a no-one interview. Get him to dance. Kurakill's going to get sniped up. They were waiting for that one for a while, but when that tier 3 tower is dropping, VP knows what they need. Don't need couriers on the field. What you need is to kill off those racks and have iG.V so intimidated to initiate on you that you just don't think you can do it, and you dodge it. The BKB is baited out by the Stormbolt. iG.V didn't really look like they were planning on going in on that.
Yeah, it was a bit interesting. They do smoke. They're going for the chase, though.
Yep. Well, now you know the BKB's gone. So if SF doesn't have his BKB, potentially they can actually find some pickoffs and get themselves back in the driver's seat of this game. So Spirit out forward, Paparazzi, another Spirit up. He'll find Ramsey, but now next to the Shrine, Ramsey just breaks free with Enrage.
Yep.
And goes home.
It's a great attempt at chasing for iG.V, but VP is way too good for that one. And it was a great reaction from no one. In some ways, he did have to pop the BKB. He has to be a little worried about getting gone on, since the only safety they really have is, I guess they had a 4-staff. They probably could have saved him. Maybe a mistake there, but
like the counter initiation from Darkseer would have been what they had to commit. Like a blink back wall would be it to save him.
But it's kind of dangerous like that. So stun comes out, pop your BKB, kind of waste it, but you got a Rax at 23 minutes. You're going to kill their Shrines. Their Shrines are actually gone already. Close the game out slowly. You don't throw it away in a best of 3 single elimination. No way.
Yeah, this is danger zone right here. Like, hey, I lose a game inside the Swiss system. I may not be able to rank up entirely on the top, and that did actually happen to VP. They ended up placing second out of everything.
That's pretty good, though.
That is definitely it's nothing to shrug your shoulders at.
Not bad.
Like, for iG.V, we're actually second from the bottom, hence these two do match up here in the grid. But no risk. VP, no desire to choke. They're even like moving behind a little bit in the experience, but they know what's going to win them the game right now. Claim the racks, and they can just muscle their way through. Next Roshan doesn't potentially spawn up for just over a minute, so they're going to take the fight now, try and claim the racks, and get iG.V into a really bad position. Either you win it now or you win it in 5 minutes.
Look how safe they're playing this. They don't want to make the same mistake that DC made in game 1. Have detection.
Paparazzi, he found solo. They're not going to jump in.
4 steps, not fools. Don't want to put him onto a cliff like, what was that, Bernie?
Well, dogfights. Has to go into the tricks and then a quick jump away, so Ricky Ulti's going to go down and no one's just doing his thing.
How do you kill this guy? He's got Solar Crest and Butterfly?
With dreams, hopes, and prayers is kind of it. The BKB triggers. He's baiting out the Requiem. It's like, come at me, bro, if you want to do it. Wait for the BKB to wear off. That's what Sven's doing with the back wall on the back lines. They may have enough with the Requiem of Souls. The damage is huge, and Solo, he's just letting it go. In July, has to trigger off his Guardian Angel. They just couldn't do anything. They couldn't get close. In fact, Ramsey's, he can close the distance. They find one. Sven's down. Buyback. It may be essential if they want to actually hold anything more, because right now VP having had to commit heavily in. They can just go for the GG push. iG.V, it is now or never. You fight or die. But they don't even have to do the fight or die. VP back up. Oh, the crush! It just missed. But Paparazzi pitched out. The back will pull in July back into the fight too, but there's a die back on Paparazzi. In July can't run away. Dogfight is trying to help him out. Same with the upheaval. And really, Sakata, what can you do? Kill off Ramses? No, Lil's back in again. The double crush. He'll sacrifice himself for the greater good. Under the upheaval of Super, Lil will die. But VP still managed to get a dieback and 2 buybacks out from that.
Those
and they still took 2 lanes of racks.
Just 1 buyback, actually. That was just the Ember Spirit, surprisingly, coming back.
They had this event as well. He actually bought back to actually try and contest the fight.
Sorry, yeah,
it was the dieback from the Ember.
Yeah.
So he lost his money for his Daedalus.
That's tough, man, especially after that one team fight from the earlier period where Sven just accelerated heavily. if you just would have got the Daedalus really rapidly, maybe get a lucky team fight here or there, the game could have looked so much better for iG.V, but they're firmly on the back foot. VP's stomping team fights, forcing buybacks. They're doing such a good job of retreating right when things look a little dangerous as well. That's maybe the most impressive part about them playing from ahead here.
Well, they won't be able to retreat once they're inside the pit. So Roshan spawns up in just under a minute. In actually a minute, the Rock will come off cooldown for Super. So he'll have his teamfight ability then. And that, for me, is where my eyes move next. Look for the Roshan control. One Observer Ward is already down for iG.V. But that's looking towards mid. You've still got a bloody tier 1 tower up in the mid lane for Virtus.pro.
Yeah.
Like, support can come so quickly if they want it.
From multiple ways, too. And they're going to smoke out. This is a perfect time to fight. It's unpredictable. The lanes are pushed really well, but unfortunately the scan comes out. They know exactly where iG.V is standing. They know Roche is up. Dogfights gets the first spot here.
Hello, Solo. Go for that quick jump. Where's the damage? Dogfights. It's not there yet. Sven blinks himself forward, goes for the Storm Bolt, able to actually catch out the Darkseer. But Paparazzi, now with the Spirit away, he actually already is on the defense. Then back into a two-man war crush. It's going to be enough to bring down both the Sven as well as the Omnut in July. Yes, he's down. And they don't really have anything more to fight with. They've lost everything. The whole enchilada is going down the drain pipe for iG.V. And GG. Virtus.pro in 33 minutes will be able to claim game 1 against the Chinese team.
What an absolutely dominant game by VP. From the beginning to the end, they made so few mistakes. I've never seen a team deal so well with Ricky Rome. It seemed a little bit over-eager, but easily deal with the Ricky, easily dealt with mid. Their team fight coordination was amazing, and when they are winning the game, these guys do not mess around. One buyback, instantly back. BKB wasted, that's okay, we're winning. We'll wait another 30, 40, 50 seconds.
Yeah. I know in the group stage, it was mentioned about Virtus.pro that they're a team that understand the patience of the game. They don't have to dive like the Russians, but they have the tools, the skill, and the ability to actually force the engagements and push in, and that, for me, was a perfect example of that. It was perfect control from VP the entire game. And I just don't know how iG.V mentally come back from such a defeat.
I mean, the laning, basically what they went into the game with their draft, they opened Omni Knight, instantly VP had a solution. And I don't know if you guys caught this, I don't know how fast Panel went to it, but that was like 15, 30 seconds between the bans and 3 picks. It was just instant. All the picks come out and everything happened, and VP knew what to do.
Man, it was a beautiful play by VP. I cannot wait for game number 2 to see if iG.V can actually give us a series or not. We'll find out. Is it possible?
That is the question, Toby1. Yes, indeed. After a dominant display by the hometown team, what can iG.Vitality do for game 2? Let's check out game 1 first of all with our panel once more. We're back with Fog, Conrad, and Gods. Fog, we'll start with you. Has there been as an impressive game only today than that one?
I don't think so. I think VP executed to like near perfection. They knew exactly what they needed to the game. I think I've really liked what Lil did in the early game too. A lot of times you could see him, maybe he just had this like idea in his mind that, okay, I need to be dual laning with my Darkseer the whole time, putting pressure on the Sven. But he kept seeing the Ricky messing with Solo, and Solo is pretty important to their plan to get the Arcane Aura levels up early on to win all 3 lanes, which is what VP loves to do. So he sacrifices himself a bit, runs around with the dust, trying to find dogfights, and he finds him a couple times. So I really liked what Solo did, or what Lil did in this game in the beginning.
Really, that was a great plan, Gods, wasn't it? We haven't always seen the Ricky Rome kind of punished like that.
Yeah, I mean, they even messed up the very first dust gank, but it was just this idea that, like Bob Fogg said, secure the CM jungle, and then eventually they do start getting those kills, and they do make sure that dogfights is ineffective. And I think not only is it about securing their own draft, it's also about shutting down that pretty key iG.V player. I feel like some teams, like you look at a certain player, like who do you want to have a slow start? And I think with iG.V it is dogfights. As much as they succeed around Paparazzi, it's dogfights who always enables them. If dogfights can create space, Paparazzi does well. And there's nothing dogfights can do is getting constantly having 2-3 heroes on him. So
they often rely on him to set the tempo of what they're going to do in the game, and they just couldn't do anything around him, could they?
No, nothing.
No. Conrad, what do you make of VP? A very impressive display, wasn't it?
Yeah, can't get the tempo started if you don't have a beat. They really shut them down that entire game there. For me, Ramses and No One just did their jobs to flawlessly. Were able to win their lanes, pretty handily, and just kind of continue carrying on into the late game. especially no one, who just ended up getting farmed like crazy.
I really like the. I mean, they did it pretty much instantly. So I don't even know if it was like a response to the Omni Knight, but maybe they were kind of just preemptively expecting iG.V to pick it. But with that instant Ursa pick, it left them that they were like, okay, CM and Slaughter can do whatever the hell they want in this game.
Yeah.
Ursa 1v1 versus Omni Knight is pretty tough, at least especially it seems so too. And July went to the jungle because one rotation comes in and you're dead every single time to an Ursa in that. So
MVP.
Talk about it. I think we'll go with Pasha. He made some of the big plays, the vacuums around the Roshan pit, the game-winning fights. He was the setup for a lot of it, so he made the flashy plays when they were needed. So I think everyone on VP did their role, and it was such a dominant game where they basically stomped this game, other than that one Roche fight that iG.V won, that it's hard to pick an MVP, but Pasha probably stands out.
I wrote a couple of notes down, which was great mid matchup, calm, collective, perfect. Don't think I've had such a positive card written down for the whole tournament. What is going on? It's gonna take a small miracle for iG.Vitality to come back into this, isn't it?
Yeah, after such a massive, devastating loss, I think it's really hard to reset yourself, especially when they're playing versus the crowd in a way as well. You could see them like screaming and yelling and everything that was going on too. So I think it's going to be really hard for them to bounce back.
Bit of cheeky from Lewin there as well. A little smug smile halfway through.
Very.
Got that little camera there,
yeah. Nicely done. Okay, we're going to talk more about our upcoming game and, of course, move towards the draft for Game 2 to see whether iG.Vitality can get back into it. But first, let's catch up with no one who caught up with Shiva just before the round of 16.
So they do secure Dogfight's hero very early with the Riki. He is, like we were talking about, he's one of the staple Riki players, if not one of the inventors of it into this meta for a while.
Very important.
I think it's important for them to secure his hero early. Yeah, he's been getting targeted a lot in the bans from the teams that he's been playing versus Spirit, his Riki that gets grabbed or banned. And then the Omni Knight, I feel like that's kind of taking a page out of VGJ.
Yeah.
Seeing how so much success they had versus DC, I think that might have influenced them a little bit coming into this one.
The last few weeks in the Chinese scene, they play a lot more online matches, be it DPL, Starlight qualifiers. Omni Knight's kind of become very meta pick for the offlane. So it seems like iG.V just going to stick with that since they've likely been playing it a bit and seeing it succeed.
Banning out the Doom. Looks like they're... I think what VP picked it. I think they picked it once. No, maybe one of the games, but it's also extremely good versus the Omni Knight. Just being able to get just lock him down. If you get doomed as Omni Knight, all your team fight's gone. So
saw it earlier in the Newbie Liquid game.
Yes.
Saw it twice.
Taking out the Batrider here as well. That's an interesting one.
Oh. That is actually...
That feels like one of theirs.
Yeah, it does.
Hopefully they didn't try and pick it.
No, they have their offlane.
Yeah, no, I think they're maybe they know that Omni Knight maybe doesn't face very well against Batrider in this situation.
Yeah, could be something like that. I mean, in July knows a lot about that hero. It's one of his most played, so definitely a possibility. It's also very good vision, grabbing Gong versus the Omni Knight, being able to get in the backlines and finding him.
That's something we were talking about earlier. It looks like iG.V is very focused on making sure Nine Pasha does not have the heroes that he feels comfortable on.
Oh yeah, banning out 3.5 offlaners kind of in a way.
Because Paulie said, how do you ban against this team? Do you just do 5 bans in one play? Well,
yeah,
that's what
looks like
so.
They decided to pick on Pasha this game. Yeah. It might be a different player next game.
Slaughter, probably Lil's hero.
Their turf. I want to see is that really going to have an effect in a way too? Them hearing the shouts and yelling.
I mean, if they're nervous in any way, then the crowd are going to help them, aren't they? That's for sure. Right, let's get into the draft. Then draft number 1 is underway. We've had a few picks as well in here. Crystal made an Ursa opening from Virtus.pro.
They picked so fast.
They picked they didn't even care what iG.V was going to grab.
Yeah, no, they've got a plan. They're just going to execute it for game 1, see where it takes them.
They banned the tree, they banned the Venge. iG.V had pretty successful games with the Vengeful Spirit, and yeah, they literally don't care. They just grab their heroes. No hesitation.
They ban their heroes. Weaver's banned half a second.
Weaver banned right away.
God, we're going to be out of here in no time, guys.
Everything is so quick. Both teams have full reserve time still. I think both teams look like they came into fight.
I mean, they've had all day long a lot of 3-game series of theory craft their draft, so I think that's part of it, where often teams on the day will be talking more about their drafts, and all of these teams have probably been up at least since 11, 12 o'clock, and probably plotting and planning. He's played quite a lot of this 4th position. I think his hero is just pretty weak in the offlane these days.
I think it can still be left open a bit though. I think it's more than likely low, but I think that's what they're kind of like, you know, it doesn't really show your hand entirely. Very good versus the Ricky as well for the amp or for Corrosive Haze to reveal him if he does show.
They very rarely play it anywhere else.
And one of the big surprises, I thought I'd be seeing more of this hero. Now with all these, you know, 4 roamers getting banned, we just haven't seen Slardar come out, and I thought it was really powerful in early stages of 7.0.
Too many nerfs, and I think the bounty Ricky, like you don't counter their lane, like lane stage invis, you don't have amp, you have to get level 6, and it's so much harder to get level 6. I think that is a big reason why Slardar fell off, because getting that level 6 as a roamer is quite tough. Ricky doesn't need level 6.
Yeah.
His level 6 ulti is not that good until late game. So.
Slardar's got a pretty high win rate, 72% actually here, so that's...
Wow. Hasn't been picked as huge.
Hasn't been getting picked too much. Yeah, it's only seven times, but still pretty substantial. Ooh. So they go for the Darkseer, so they're going their kind of combo thing that they like to do. The pressure lane as well with the Darkseer Slardar. They see, you know, it's a Ricky, so I think that's kind of the approach they want to take. They're like, okay, Ricky isn't really the greatest for lanes, so if we put pressure on the safe lane, he has to kind of make his attention toward us, or we're going to really pressure their safe lane super hard. And I think that's a good approach for VP as well. We talked about Paparazzi. He probably needs to have a pretty good game for iG.V. If they punish him and just like kind of shut him down in laning phase, it could really hurt iG.V.
What kind of heroes can you easily run against Slardar Darkseer here with a Ricky? Warlock split not bad, but the Ricky doesn't offer anything.
The Ember for iG.Vitality. So what are we looking for Virtus.pro Ramsey's hero, I guess?
No,
he'll be Ursa. He'll take the Ursa. So it's a no one?
Yeah, there's some team like WeHow would play the Ursa made against Ember, but I don't think that's VP
I mean,
style.
Ramsey's was his most picked since 7.0, so it's very likely that he'll take the Ursa. So we're looking for a no one hero. There's plenty of options here.